Hey, it's Mark Linney with your video thought for the day, getting ready to roll us into the weekend. So this morning I was reading from an Old Testament book called First Kings, and I was in chapter 12. Now this is King David's already died. His son King Solomon's just died, and his son has left Rehoboam, his son, who's going to be ostensibly the next king. And some bunch of people had come to Rehoboam and said, you know, your father, King Solomon, got to where he was really tough on us. Think high taxes, forced labor, that kind of stuff. And they said, if you will lighten up, be a little better king, then we'll follow you all day long. And Rehoboam said, give me about 3 days to think about it. Come back in 3 days and we'll talk. So the people left, and Rehoboam sought counsel. Now, the first counsel he sought was from the old wise men. And the old wise men said, look, Rehoboam, if you want these people to love you and serve you and be faithful and loyal to you, then you need to tell them, yeah, man, I'm in this with you. I'm in this for you. And I will be, I'll lighten your load, etc. Now, this was good counsel, but Rehoboam didn't take the counsel. It's interesting to read the text because the text repeatedly says he ignored the counsel of the wise old men. Instead, he went to some young pups and he said, hey, what do you think I ought to do? Now, these were inexperienced in the ways of politics, in the ways of leadership. And you can tell from reading the text that they're just young people who don't have enough sense to come in out of the rain. And they said to him, oh, look, this is your chance to establish yourself. You need to get out there and you need to tell them that your pinky, it has more girth to it than your dad's thigh. And that if your dad was tough on them and rule them with whips, you're going to rule them with scorpions. And just come down, say, you're going to make your dad look like a cream puff and be really, strong-fisted with them. Well, Solomon ignores the advice of the wise and instead adheres to the advice of the inexperienced. And net, when all is said and done, 10 tribes of Israel rebel. They put Jeroboam up as their king instead of Rehoboam. And boom, Israel is split into two from then on. And the two never reunite. And Rehoboam lost half, in essence, of his kingdom because of bad advice. Now, I was thinking about that in light of, we're going into the 4th of July weekend and it's a time of liberty for our country. And I think back about how here in the United States, the Declaration of Independence from England was done for a host of reasons, including the idea that the king just would not honor the rights of the people. He was too rough on the people. He taxed them heavily without representation, etc. And so much like the 10 tribes of Israel, America rebelled. And I'm not thinking about this in terms of the politics of things. I'm thinking about this in terms of my own life. It's so very important to seek counsel, but it's also very important to seek good counsel from wizened people who've been around the block, who walk closely with the Lord, who aren't impetuous, who aren't saying things because they sound good or sound tough or sound whatever, but people who are genuinely concerned in giving good advice. And my prayer to God is that I will not only seek good advice, but that I'll follow good advice. I think that's a good thing to do, especially as we roll into Independence Day. So just some musings from me on some Old Testament stories that seem to count. Get some good advice when you've got big issues in life. Make sure you're getting advice from wise people. It can make a world of difference. And that's your video thought for the day.